You're now tuned in to the Soulful Stir with Tash and Diamond Symoné.
And we are live. Welcome.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, see, I was about to get into it.
We back. Hold on. What was you about to get into?
Just our welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Soulful Stir.
Because I got a question, and sometimes I be forgetting. The questions be so pressing that I forget to greet the people. But why y'all be marrying ugly husbands? I really want to know that. Like, I was just scrolling and I was looking at somebody I know Instagram story, and I was like, you really married that booger wolf?
So we're just jumping right into it.
You really married that booger wolf? Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I am vain. I am not colorist. I do not have a type.
Yes,
I do have a type. I have a type.
type.
He has to be fine and paid and heavy where it counts, if you know what I mean. But my point is, he got to be fine. He could be dark. He could be light. He could be short. I mean, no, he can't be short. He could be dark. He could be light. He could be tall. He got to have all his teeth. He can't have no nose ring. I do have specifications.
So he can't be missing that one tooth on the side?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But listen, why y'all be marrying these ugly people? I just be needing to know. Like, I be seeing people that's like, that I know that be like so happily married, and they be like in love, and they be talking about their husband, and then I see their husband, and I be like, that's who you married? And then I be like, maybe that's not why I'm not married, because maybe the ugly niggas is the husbands, and I refuse to have an ugly husband. So I just had to put that out there, y'all. I had to get that off my chest. It was pressing. I needed to release that off my spirit. I'm sorry, we're gonna go back to regular scheduled programming, but I'm serious. Y'all gotta stop marrying these ugly people, like these ugly men, because y'all giving them too much confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because what's worse, like, if you've never been approached by an ugly married man, you don't understand what I mean. Like, I remember years ago where a married man tried to approach me, and I was like, first off, you're married. But then second off, I don't even know if it was first off. It's like 1A, 1B. You're ugly and you're married. Both of those things I can see from the outside. You know what I'm saying? I can see your ring and I can see that you're ugly.
I can see you.
And
you know
because
that, right?
this woman marries you, now you have the audacity to think other people think you're attractive too.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't think of it from that angle.
Like, once you give an ugly man a try, he thinks
it gives him an ego boost.
Yes, he thinks that maybe he's not as ugly as he thought he was. But he really do be ugly.
They start acting real greasy too.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Maybe that's what LaToya Luckett meant when she said, I made you cool. You wasn't that dude until I started fucking with you.
Absolutely, that's what that means. Because, sir, you had a hole in your big toe, in your sock. You know what I'm saying? I put you on the good reinforced toes on your socks. Like, you didn't even know the proper shampoo to wash your little nappy hair with. And I taught you how to wash your hair so it could lay down in the front so we don't see that cowlick no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that I'm talking about when y'all take these ugly dudes. Case in point, I don't know how old some of y'all are, but if y'all old enough to remember, was it Two Can Play That Game?
Yes, well, Whitney Raquel Robinson and Bobby Brown.
Yes, my God. If that didn't see, if y'all didn't grow up watching the movies, just say that. Like, I said that on my Instagram before. The reason why I didn't grow up and have 4 or 5 baby daddies and a whole bunch of stuff is because I grew up watching reality TV, i.e. Jenny Jones, Maury, Jerry Springer, and I never wanted to be a girl on TV running behind a little nigga trying to prove to him that he was my baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you watch stuff like that growing up, it teach you.
So scary.
And I watched Two Can Play That Game, and she put all her time and effort into making Bobby Brown not a dirty 40-ounce drinking mechanic, motor oil smelling, chipped tooth, nappy hair having, I don't know what to call him. But she sat there and spent all her time making him somebody different. And then he started clowning. Oh, my bad. I don't even know what that was. But then he started clowning. Like, he just automatically just started clowning. So, no, you don't do that. You don't Don't create no work for yourself. You don't go get no project. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, they gotta be fine out the gate. All right, I'm sorry, it just is what it is. All right,
I agree. They do have to be fine, but also I like men with substance. And the older I get,
well, that makes them fine. That's a part of the package. Like, fine ain't just the physical part.
Okay, yeah. Now we talking.
It's physical
now
and
we
other
with
things.
Now we cooking with grease. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely agree. A fine man is all those things, all the above. I can't do without. And the older I get, the more like impatient I become with men who just seemingly kind of feel like they're gonna weave in and out of my existence, weave in and out of my life. I hate those shoes.
I was just looking like, what is going on?
They feel like they're gonna weave in and out of my life and act as they wish and do as they please. Absolutely not. You're not gonna do that.
Listen, a 7 or 8 can be fine. You know, because a 7 or 8 is one of those things, especially if you get a strong 8. 7, I don't really know. But a strong 8, I can make you fine. Because sometimes it literally just be a matter, like, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Me and my best friend, we have this, it ain't even a weird obsession because we just manage. But I love those videos on social media where it just be a dude that you wouldn't even pay no attention to. And then he go get a haircut. And then you want to throw your panties on through the phone.
Ain't that crazy how a haircut could change?
Listen, that's what I mean.
For
a good 8, a strong 8 could be a 10. You know what I'm saying? He could be an 8 at 10 o'clock a.m. By 3 p.m., he could be a 10.5 if he got the right barber, okay?
Yeah.
And we go to the right Marshalls and get you a nice little fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can make it.
Right Marshalls.
We can make it work. So that's what I'm saying. But what make you really fine for me to even want to go through that is that you have to be a decent human beforehand. Like, I'm not going to make you physically fine unless I know you got the personality and the ego to sustain the upgrade.
Yeah, I definitely feel like you have to have personality first and foremost. Absolutely. I see what people say. I see what people mean when they say that looks aren't everything. It truly is not, because I've met some good looking guys who were not very smart.
Who are the listen when
and
I'm talking
not
about
very kind.
Gotta be born on top of a ladder.
Yeah,
had to be born on top of a ladder, baby, because you had to fall straight on your head upon delivery. got
cotton for a brain.
Listen, when I tell you, they be a few sandwiches short of a picnic, a few beers short of a 6-pack. Elevator don't go all the way up. They be home, but the lights don't. I mean, the lights is on, but they don't be home.
And I feel like, and I hate to say this, but it's true.
That's why dating on your educational level is so important. And it's not just when I say educational level, do I mean book knowledge and intelligence of like, oh, if I'm a lawyer, I have to date a lawyer, because I hate other lawyers. Let's just be clear. But I'm just saying, like, you have to date on your same intelligence level of emotional intelligence. Yes, mental intelligence, your educational intelligence is a thing, as well as, you know, even your financial intelligence. You have to be equally yoked with people who are on the same plateau or the platform that you're on and way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's one of the good things that I love about my son's dad. When we first started to date, it was that, like, one of the things that attracted to him was when we started having conversation was like, oh yeah, I got therapy tomorrow. And I was like, oh, you working on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not opposed to that. And you're actively doing it. Like, nobody told you had to go to therapy. Like, he had already been working on himself. We're not. That's
a huge feather in his cap, because you know how many guys that I met or dated that are just 100% opposed to going to therapy. My therapist actually told me, she said, I'm gonna tell you this, and I will tell my kids this. She said, I always tell my daughters especially, beware of people who are against going to therapy. And she's like, what is the bigger synopsis of them not wanting to go to therapy? Yeah. And I said they don't see that there's anything wrong. They don't see a need to change, a need to improve themselves. Yeah. She said exactly. Or that's going to carry over to your relationship.
They know something is wrong, but they like for it to be wrong because it gives them something to continue to harp on. Like it gives them something to talk about, to always deal with. That's why certain people don't leave their marriages, men and women, because they like to be able to have that of, I don't, this, my marriage. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I said, they could be, I just want somebody fine. So just quit marrying these ugly people. And when I say ugly people, I don't mean just the ugly ones. Like I also watch, I don't mean just the physical ugly ones. Back to your point, I know some people that are married to some physically attractive people on the outside, but as soon as those people open their mouth, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this your thought process? Is this your train of thought? Like, do you really, like, you know what I'm saying? I just be want to tap them on the shoulder and be like, earth to you. Like, are you really thinking this in 2026? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this really your thought process? So, yeah, quit dating ugly people. Mentally ugly, emotionally ugly, spiritually ugly. Especially physically ugly, though.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Especially physically. I can't imagine. I know some, I'm about to say, can you imagine someone being all the uglies? Mm-hmm. And I can, because I know some.
I can. You can see them all the time at the gas station, because guess what? They will follow you in there and they will ask you, can I get your number? As soon as you say no, as soon as you say I got a man, they have an attitude. Yeah. So you can't even accept rejection, and you out here looking like you ain't changed your drawers in 3 days. Your shoes ain't tied. They dirty. Your teeth, you need a whole new dental. Just just throw the whole mouth away and get a new one. And you look like you ain't bathed in 3.5 weeks, and you just saw me get out my nice car. I know you smelled my nice perfume when I walked past you. And you really thought you was going to have a shot?
Yeah.
And then when I told you no with respect, I didn't embarrass you. I just said, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I got a family at home. You look at me, and I got to be a dirty, funky bitch. And you the one that's really funky.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm telling you the truth.
Louise, what is going on?
I'm telling you the truth. You know what I was thinking about is in alignment with that, how men ask you, are you single? And you tell them no, and they say, are you happy? Remember when we went to the gas station that one day and I told you the clerk tried to talk to me?
Yes.
And he asked me that, and I said, he said, are you single? And I said, no, I'm not. He said, are you happy? And I said, you know what? I actually am happy. And this is when I was in a relationship. But then I sat and thought about it. And I should have said,
in hindsight, let me go back up here.
I should have said, if I say no, give me 5 ways that you could change that right now. And no man would ever expect that.
That's what I'm saying. Because you are out of control.
What? You just trying to know. Like, I'm in a relationship, point blank, period. It don't matter where I'm at on the spectrum of me being in a relationship, because essentially you're going to play number 2. If I were to allow you to pursue me, sir, you are signing up for the circus. You're signing up for the diamond show.
But that's a whole nother situation, because
women
do it all the time and thinking they're gonna change somebody.
No.
Like, that's a whole nother thing. Is, listen, I was taught that you lose them how you get them. So
I don't even have that type of time on my hands to even play around like that.
And that be my thing too. It's like, I be trying to ask men and women, like, do you think less of yourself, like, that you can't go get your own person, that you just be like, all right, well, I know you with somebody, so I'm just gonna play my role and deal with you too. Like, how?
Once you see how busy I am, you're going to X yourself out. Because you're probably going to wonder how, at that time, like, how am I in a relationship? Because I don't have time to play.
Well, based on, like, social media and, like, things that I've seen on, like, threads and Twitter lately, and conversations that I've had with my friends, I've already known this, but I've come to the realization that I think dating would be totally different right now if women were more honest with men. I think we be so busy trying to do stuff and move a certain way that it allows men to get this like really inflated ego and they don't know the truth. Because there was a thread the other day that I was looking at where this lady brought up a point and I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that, because I never really been in that situation, obviously. But where she was saying, this dude was like, you know, I'm so and so age, I don't have no kids, and blase blah blah blah, and women be acting like I'm not the prize. And she kind of like reposted a tweet and was like, pretty much that men like him are so toxic, because just because you don't have any kids, it doesn't mean you're the prize. You don't know that you might be so toxic that women might have been pregnant by you and had an abortion and didn't even tell you. That you so much of an ain't shit nigga that they didn't even want to have the conversation with you. They ain't even bother asking you for the 500. Okay?
Can you imagine?
That they didn't want to be connected to you. And we were like, if men knew the truth about how much women try to not be connected to men and to detach themselves from them, they would be flabbergasted at the lengths that women will go to not be connected to you forever. Like, men be so busy with this, oh, I'm trying to trap, you know, women trying to trap me. And I think it's more of the other way around, because women nowadays, baby, people is doing, hey, listen,
I don't play.
They spending the 500, okay? They're doing the thing, and they're unapologetic about it, and that's their business. I'm not here to judge nobody and what they doing and how they doing it. They're minding their business. But it's so funny that men don't realize that, like, how
they
much
still think that they're the cream of the crop,
that we spare their egos. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's not situations like that, it's so many situations that I think about that I've been in, that if I would have been directly honest with somebody, their feelings would have been hurt. And y'all know I'm a very cutthroat. I'm gonna say it like it is. And even with me being like this, I have still spared men's egos, because in the back of my mind, as a woman, there's still a fear of being victimized because of a man's ego. So I am sometimes, as very boisterous as I am and very open and honest, I know how to play my cards. And so sometimes I'm not gonna say nothing to a nigga that ain't worth it. Like, why read him for filth when I could just walk away? And so that's the thing that people don't realize, how much men are being spared when women don't go back and forth with them. When we just walk away, because women will go low and we will go to hell, and we will say some things that will hurt your feelings, and we ain't saying them to be vindictive. We just telling you how it is. And men don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Men don't see that. Also, we, with that same part about the ego, I know we don't talk about like extremely explicit things here a lot, but my friend and I were having a conversation where we were thinking, like, men don't realize sometimes in most situations when women are giving them these threesomes, they thinking it's because they the man, and baby, you ain't really the prize, because I'm not sharing nothing I like. If it's good, if it's that good, you think I'm about to let somebody else get it, and I'm about to watch them get it and be in the room while it is happening? Are you insane? Listen, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, well, y'all will look at her like Tinkerbell after I'm done with a nigga, if he ever think that that's about to be the case. But that's what I'm saying. So people don't realize that sometimes men be feeling like that they really the big nigga on campus, big man on campus, and oh yeah, I got this girl to do this. And baby, most women, we done already made up in our mind what we gonna do with you, or how far we willing to go with you before we even meet that, before the rubber even meets the road, before we even get started in the game. We already know. Like, y'all think y'all the ones doing the convincing, when baby, it's always psychology, but in reverse around with women. Like, and that's just for the men listening to this. And I hate to bust y'all bubble or give women secrets away, but we already know what we willing to do and what we're not willing to do. And most women ain't willing to give you nothing unless she just really sexually liberated and she like the things that she like, and that's nothing wrong with that. But most women are not. If you're in a committed relationship with a woman and she just okay with doing it, it's because you ain't doing something right, and she needs some more excitement too. Because baby, if you doing all the things, she don't want to see that. I guarantee you, she's not trying to go there.
Yeah, or like you said, it's usually one side of the coin. Like you said, maybe you're dealing with somebody who's more sexually charged, sexually liberated, and they're like, yeah, cool. They can separate the experience. They can solely just have a sexual experience with their partner with a third and be cool with it. There are people like that.
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. There are some, but I'm saying
I understand what you're saying also.
Yes, because and I believe it's 50-50. Yes, you do have some people that just enjoy that and that's okay. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, but for the men, sometimes men just think that they're doing something and they're convincing you, and they got this ego, like, you know, this barbershop talking, yeah, I got her to do this, I got her to do that, when really she probably was doing it before she met you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or she's probably okay with doing it with you because she don't look at you with no value or no long-term, you know, thoughts in mind. She's just like, oh, this is fun, this is cool, and if he want to have a good time, we can have a good time, and I'm gonna move along. You know what I'm saying? And men, I've noticed that they tend to not like that. Like, men don't like to be, they not gonna say it, but when you make a man feel objectified, they're worse than we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, as women, we done got used to it, and the patriarchy in society has told us that we should expect it from people. Like, when we start getting objectified, it's kind of like, oh, we expect it because of how society has taught us that men are just going to be men and they're going to do this. But when you do that to a man, they be like, literally, it's that scene of Boomerang when Eddie Murphy was under the covers pulling the sheet up when Robin Givens got up and was like, I'm about to bounce. It was like, oh my God, how dare you? Like, yeah. Because they think that is just because we want them, that they don't think that women can just be physical creatures. And that's the thing. Sometimes you can see a man, I've done it, my friends have done it, I know people, and we just like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to ride this ride for a few weeks. I'm going to ride it for a few months. And then I'm going to get off because that's what I want. I just want, it's fun. We're going out. We're having a good time. The physical chemistry is there, but sir, I know that your elevator don't go all the way up, and I'm cool with that because I don't have any intentions on doing anything with you. I'm not gonna let you meet my family. I'm not bringing you around my friends. We're just gonna kick it, and that's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? That's the family. With the new people, with, you know, young kids call a sneaky link. You know what I'm saying? That's essentially what it is. We just didn't have no name for it back then. It was, I'm gonna get with you after work. I'm gonna get with you on the weekends after I hang out with my friends. I'm gonna call you after the club. I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna spend the night. I'm gonna go home in the morning. And I'll see you maybe in 2 weeks. You know, that was how things were done. And that was, you know, it was cool, but men thought it was their idea.
Yeah, no, they always think that is their idea. And that just goes to flow into the fact that we obviously live in a patriarchal society. And so even if you have a thought as a woman, some men want to make it seem like they're the reason why you had that thought. Yes, or, you know, they're the ones who thought of it first. And so, yeah, you should do that because
they want to be the mastermind so bad.
Yeah, but like realistically, it just doesn't work like that most of the time. Not all the time. Some cases, yes, men do persuade women to do things that they don't want to do. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But if you are with somebody who is persuading you to do something that you don't want to do, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person. I'm just saying. That's a whole other rabbit hole for us to jump down for another day. But everything you said, you really hit the nail on the head with that. I have nothing to add, surprisingly.
I have nothing to add.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, because men be thinking it's them. Like, trust me.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not y'all. A good woman who's grounded and knows herself, knows her worth, is knee deep in their relationship, especially, you ain't running shit. That woman is around. One of my favorite
lines from I think it was Real World, Seattle.
We love to make them think that they are.
But some women just want to get their bones blown and they back blown out by justice.
Yay, and that's okay. I'll never forget
that episode of Real World. They was like arguing with the girl. I think it was the girl from Tanya from Walla Walla, Washington. They was like, you just want to get your bones blown and back blown out by justice. And I was like, absolutely. And she ain't wrong for wanting that either. That's her man, because I think, you know how back in the day on Real World or whatever, if you was dating somebody or your family might come to the house. Show. Oh, so it was like a reality show where all these people was in the house together or whatever. And they would like make them go get a job or do little stuff. But like at one point in time, they would have like their significant others would come and visit for a weekend, or their sister or somebody. But you know, over time they would hear these people talking to the people, and I think the girl's boyfriend had came in town, or they were trying to get him to come in town, and something was happening, and they were mad at her because they was like, she just want to be up under him so bad. And I'm like, that's her man. Like, why shouldn't she want to? But some women, especially in today's society, I'm not trying to be funny with everybody, women having careers and having this stuff, women are literally okay with having somebody getting their physical needs met and going back to live their life and going to work on Monday through Friday and being the CEO, because there's a lot of women that are okay with not being married, that are okay with not becoming mothers, and that is perfectly fine for them if those are the decisions that they've made. And so they just want a little relief from now and then. So fellas, don't always think it's y'all.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I low-key reposted this post on my Instagram page, on my Instagram story not too long ago, a couple days ago actually. And the post essentially said, actually, I don't mind being single. I don't care where you at and what you're doing. I don't care how your day was. Like it, and I felt that to my core.
I love
Not
that.
because I don't find value in relationships, or even see the value in marriage. It's not because of that, but the caption really went more into detail of explaining that being in a relationship, and as someone who is not married and has never been married, I can only imagine that being in a marriage is also on the same wavelength and probably even harder. It is a job. It is a job. It is labor. And like you said, the emotional labor, the emotional aspect of it, of having to pacify somebody's ego and make sure that this person is doing, well, and, the constant check-ins and things like that to make sure that y'all are still in alignment. It is a requirement for a healthy relationship. And sometimes you go through seasons where, I really don't want to do that. Yeah. I just simply right now, I feel like I'm cool with companionship. If I have a companion or two or several that come along and I'm like, cool, I can rock with you. We can go out, we can travel, have a good time with each other. We don't have to have too much invested with one another. If you want to see other people, that's cool. Yeah. As long as we're being respectful about it. I feel like that works, because this is right now I'm in such a busy season of my life of navigating things that have been gifted to me, but also on this steadfast journey of just simply figuring it out, that I don't see me being knee deep in a relationship with someone that I have to also pacify and chase in a way.
That's why
on an emotional standpoint.
I think that's why I like where I am right now, because though it has been time since my niece passed, my son, my nephews, there's still a level of grief that I have to work through. And I like that I can come home and I don't have to do emotional labor with anybody. I come in my house, and if I'm still working through my emotions, I can turn my TV on. I could sit in the dark. I could sit in the quiet. I don't have nobody walking around asking me, am I okay? Like, I'm not saying that people aren't worried about me, but I know myself, I tend to, when I have people in my space, I tend to put my thoughts and emotions and feelings on the back burner, because I don't want people to be concerned about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm concerned about the amount of emotional labor they will have to put forth to try to help me through something that I can't even help myself through. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like the space of I in, like, as far as being by myself and being single in this season, is because it does help like work through other things, because once again, I don't know if I'm going to be on an upstream or a downstream one day as far as my grief. And it's just so hard to have somebody come home and be like, shit ain't going right on my job. I hate this. And I'm sitting here like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be a unsympathetic partner to somebody, but I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm at a season where you gonna come home complaining about your job, and I'm gonna be like, all right, fucking quit it or get another one, because you complaining about some shit that you can change. I can't get my son back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to be in constant comparison with somebody telling them that what they're experiencing and their hard times are not worth discussing or worth addressing because I went through something harder. That's very selfish. You know what I'm saying? And I would never be a self-centered person like that, which obviously, because I'm even considering it now, but that's the thing of, I don't want people to look and be like, well, damn, she don't care about nobody. All she care about is her dead son. You know what I'm saying? And that's not true. I care about my niece, my nephews, everybody. And I care about people that still got stuff going on currently. It's just sometimes I'm in that space where it's just be like, please be grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you lost so much stuff, you know how it feels. And I hate to be that person that's, always standing on that soapbox or harping on that whole thing, but it's a real thing that I've experienced. So I know that it would be hard for me to do that labor of like So how was work today? How was this? You know what I'm saying? Because
you just don't feel like it every day.
And I'm in a grief, and I'm in a transition, like a major transition with my career. You know what I'm saying? I might be potentially leaving the office that I've been at for the last 7 years, and that's in a grief in and of itself, because in that 7 years, these people saw me conceive my son, have him, you know what I'm saying, raise him and lose him. You know what I'm saying? So people don't realize how also, even though I'm not emotionally attached to the job, I'm emotionally attached to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a season where I'm trying to figure...
There's a trauma bond there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure my grief out and how it relates to work and how I want to navigate that in a new workspace, in a new work environment, if that's where I end up. And, you know, how open will I be to telling people about it and all that other stuff. And so dealing with that, I don't want to come home every day and be asking no nigga what he want to eat and him looking at me like I'm a cook. You know what I'm saying? If I want to come home tonight and eat 3 saltine crackers and drink a cup of tea, I can do that and go to bed. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody looking at me saying, well, you're not taking care of yourself, or what are we going to eat? Like, people don't think about the burden. Even if you have a supportive partner that's not expecting you to do the labor, sometimes their care can feel overbearing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To have somebody consistently behind you saying, well, have you eaten? Have you eaten? Well, maybe you need to go take a walk. Maybe you need to go to the gym. Have you taken your medicine? Yes, I love it. And thank you for caring about me. But sometimes that's aggravating. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just want to sit here and just think about, like, what the hell is going on with my life? And if that means that I forgot to eat and it's now 7 p.m. and I'm just realizing I haven't eaten, I don't want you in my face saying, you gotta eat, you gotta eat, you gotta eat. Like,
yeah, I think that too, because you gave words, you articulated well what I've been feeling as well, and I've been struggling with the idea that, or the question of whether I'm being ungrateful for the way that everything is aligned in my life currently. But I feel that 1000%. It's just sometimes I just need to be by myself and just to be in the flow of life, of what's happening, just to experience it. Not that doesn't take away from the people that constantly check on me and that have shown to be supportive. I don't want to ever discount that or take away from it. But at the same time, there's a lot of unraveling that's been happening for a while. But when my dad died, that was a whole other, like, I felt like my world was just flipped upside down. And so now I'm trying to get to know this new version of me that doesn't have a dad anymore. And I'm also unlearning all of the things that I saw my life including with him in it. It's like I'm unlearning all of that and realizing that's not going to happen. The reality is going to look different. And at the same time, still just simply living in the unknown. I don't know what it's going to be.
And to give people an idea, like, not trying to discount what you're saying, but think about what you're saying and think about it times 4. Like, yeah, even times more than 4, because as soon as my grandfather passed, which my grandfather raised me like I was his child, as soon as he passed, I got pregnant with my son. Like, these were major changes. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of those people that I didn't want to wear my grief on my sleeve because I didn't want it to affect my baby, you know, while he was in utero. And so I had to learn how to, my first niece passed. I was like, okay, well, how can I be a good sister to my sister in her grief? How can I be a good aunt to my nieces and nephews in their grief? How can I be a good, you know, mother to my son? At 2 years old, he had a good connection with my niece. You know what I'm saying? So how do I foster and keep telling him, you know, Raven's here, there. As soon as I start doing that, he go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, shit, now it's a new thing. And I'm like, okay, well, this is this. And then now another thing happens. And my nephew passed. And then his brother passes again. So it's like I'm constantly trying to learn how to live a new life. And then something will come and be like, nope, now you got to learn something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just this compactive thing of, now that it's been quiet for a change for me, I'm finally getting to that point. And that's why I'm like, I really don't, you know, I like my space because I'm learning who I want to be. Like, I'm I think I'm rebuilding who I am from the ground up. And that requires a lot of solitude.
Too. That's how I feel too. You need quiet time to figure out who am I? Who is this new version of me? Mm-hmm. What do I require in this season? And that also comes with assessing the fact that with my most recent partner, I had to come to grips that I had a trauma bond with this person because he was there when my dad passed. Yep. And so although some things I feel like in some ways the relationship could have ended sooner than it did, I understood the purpose of all of it, the purpose of the timing of things. And I had to come to the realization that, yes, this was a really messed up situation, but I don't owe you anything. And I don't owe it to nobody to pretend that I'm happy in a situation because I feel like you were there for me at one of the most vulnerable times in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, God just saw it so fit for you to be a part of my journey in that moment, and I'm grateful. But I could be grateful and also move on. I could be grateful and be honest with myself.
And just because you're choosing to not be in space with this person on that level does not mean that you're not grateful, or does not mean that, and then it doesn't mean that you took advantage of this person, but we also have to realize too that it's not like that's not something that you can ever go tit for tat on. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you can hold yourself back and say, well, I'm gonna wait for somebody in his life and his circle to pass. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna give kindness, empathy, sympathy, and love and grace to him. Then we'll be even. Then I can skate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't
the
work
way
like
life
that.
works in circles, you know, it's kind of like you pay it forward and then it just happens to you. It's you depositing your seeds, and then what you do as a career, you know, I don't want to use this word, and I don't want to misuse it, but I want to say you earned that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You bring lives into the world. You know what I'm saying? Including my son. You know what I'm saying? Not only did you help me bring him into the world, you were there for me when he passed, like in a major way that I don't think you even understand. Because I remember I was in a really dark place and we had a lunch, and it changed the trajectory of how I felt about what I was going through at that moment. And
don't start today, Tash.
But no, it did. And I say that to say, before I started to lose my son, my nieces, I had friends, I had people that lost people in their life, and I showed up for them. And they did not show up for me in my seasons. And I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I did have other people there. That seed was already planted. It might not, you know, I look at karma and life as like planting a mystery bag of seeds into a garden. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what it's going to yield. But if you take care of it, you're going to get something great. You just don't know what it's going to be. And you don't know how the things are going to go together. But if you foster what you put out in the world, which is yourself, you're going to yield a good harvest. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to feel like you should have been trapped in that situation, which we had those conversations before. And I told you that then, like, you got to let that go. Like, I understand where you're sitting at, but sometimes you have to let things go because it's time to just release them. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that because I felt that with a lot of grief, where people were there for me in that direct season that I spent a lot of time with. And now it's been, you know, almost 3 years, and I don't talk to them as much anymore. And for a while I felt bad because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not talking to this person and they were there for me. But, you know, sometimes that was just, you know, two ships in the night that were passing. You know, we needed to stop, see each other. You needed to help me. I needed to help you. And I think throughout life, when we pick up on those experiences and those exchanges, they help us down the line. But we got to stop holding ourselves to them so much.
Yeah, I feel everything that you're saying. And this is such a timely conversation that I wasn't anticipating. Because being in this season of being so incredibly busy, yet experiencing shadow work, and experiencing what I would consider an unraveling, there have been plenty of people that I would have thought would check in on me more. I've lost friendships and connections that I've had for years because people continue to move in a flow of which they know.
Yes.
They don't move with you in these seasons all the time to be able to understand that the way that you handled me last year is not the way that I require to be handled in this season. It has to be different. It had to change. And so it's hurtful to have to part ways with some of the people. But at the same time, I had to realize, like, this is the new version of you.
Yeah. And
this is what's going to happen. And so with you bringing up just me showing up for you when Royce transitioned, I couldn't imagine what that felt like for you. But I knew what I was feeling in the timing of which my dad had transitioned.
Yeah.
And how even now still, like, there are moments that are just so, they feel so lonely. Like, I don't know who else to talk to about it, because I must be the only person experiencing this. I know realistically I'm not, but my goal is to always be a mirror in the best way that I can, to reflect light that I know that I have and I am internally. Even if I feel like I really don't always, I'm not the brightest, or I'm at, I don't know how I'm trying to describe this, but maybe when I feel like it's not the sunniest internally, like, or I'm in a season of just being in a tunnel. Might got a little flashlight in my hand, but I'm not shining in my best space, because I know what it's like to be in a place of darkness.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to feel lonely, or to feel like, where are the people that I was confiding in and talking to? And, you know, how could this happen the way that it did with this person, or, you know, whatever. So, but I always question if people feel that, if they feel my energy in return. Like, am I showing up the best way that I can? Is it being received by the other end? Or can they too feel that, like, I'm flickering, essentially? But I feel like either way, like, you just confirmed that people do feel it, regardless of what season I'm navigating and where I'm at. Because it's been mad interesting since 2023. It's just not. I've been so incredibly blessed. Let me say that first and foremost. Very blessed. So many things, so many great things have happened. You know, but it's just still this thing of that pops up, like, oh, and that also happened, and that was actually very real, and you're never going to get over it, and it's never going to change. You're just gonna have to learn how to live with it. With
my sick humor, I always tell people, like, to actually just hone in on that last point you just made before we move on, is I have this sick humor. You know, I had to laugh about stuff sometimes to keep from crying. And I tell people that sometimes when I get sad, I can be standing around and I'll think about Royce and I'll get sad and I'll be like, I'll be like, damn. And I literally will talk to my son. I'll be like, damn, like, son, you just left me. Like, I'll be like, damn, my son is dead. Like, am I serious? Like, sometimes I have to say that to reality check myself. Like, and I don't know why I do it, but it's a reality check. Like, I don't know if this is me to say to myself, like, it's okay to keep going. Whatever you're going through is not hard, because you couldn't have told me on October 31st of 2023 that day that I would make it and I would be doing as well as I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could have never told me 10 years ago that one day you're going to have a child, and as soon as you really get into this motherhood thing and you're enjoying it and you've put all this work into fostering a great family, your son has a great father. Like, nobody could have told me that all of these things would be so good on paper and that my son would be gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never thought I would make it through nothing like that. So, like, I sometimes have to reality check myself, like, girl, like, huh? Like, this is really reality. Like, damn, like, they gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll look at my phone, and it's a constant reminder, especially with my last nephew, because I think when he passed, it hit the family like really, really crazy, which was crazy because he was the only death that we had expected. And not saying that at that time we had expected, but he had dealt with illnesses from the day he was born. So we were always told to like just be on edge, you know. And so one of my best friends' her nickname in my phone starts with a Q. And my nephew's name was Raekwon, but we always called him Quan. And, you know, all my nieces and nephews, my son, all of them had these R names. So I would put all these kids in my phone with their nicknames because all them R's would just be too much. And so whenever I go to text my best friend and I type the Q, Quan always show up. Like, every single day. And every time. And something in me would be like, you ain't text your nephew in how long? And then it'd be like, girl, he is there. And I'd be like, oh, my God. Like, it happens in like 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's really weird how that happens. There have been like times, even to this day, like I'll have these thoughts of, let me call my dad real quick and see.
Girl,
and
that's
it's like,
the worst. Oh,
no,
my God.
You're not.
I be want to call my granddaddy so much.
That.
Like, I be want to call my granddaddy about everything. Like, I get stuff in the mail and it'll remind me of him, and I'd be like, oh, I'm about to, and I'd be like, I can't. You know, like, it's so crazy. Like, oh God, it's ridiculous. But yes, child, this is, whew,
yeah, I don't know. What a life. It's really all I can say. And speaking of daddy issues, let me dial back and say one thing. So many artists, because this is going to flow into soundcheck, so many artists have released concert dates for this year. I cannot keep up. Between the summer and the fall, spring, summer, and fall, the artists are coming, okay?
Girl, I don't even want to think about it.
There is so many shows, and I'm going to several. One of the shows that I'm going to is Doja Cat's show. And I love me some Doja Cat. If you know, you know. I've been listening to Doja Cat since before she went mainstream. When she was still on SoundCloud, I was listening to Doja Cat's music. And so it's really cool to see her trajectory and witness her growth as a star. She is one hell of an entertainer, period. She's one hell of an artist. But to see her live, it's crazy. So I just saw a video of her in Africa. Where was she at?
Yeah,
was she in South Africa?
Yeah.
She was crying on stage, and I thought it was such a beautiful video because she said, for a place that I've never been to, I surely feel like I have been. Like, she felt like she was at home. And it's interesting because a lot of people don't know that Doja Cat is South African. Her dad is actually a famous actor. I forgot his name, but yeah, Doja Cat is African, and her mother is white of Jewish descent, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's just interesting that that's a dynamic. But what's also interesting is recently, within the last few days, her father has.
It was either yesterday or today that he got online clowning.
Yeah, her father has jumped online, making a mockery of himself, seemingly talking about their strained relationship, which hasn't really been as much of a private matter, I would say. I think there has been some rumor or really some things that she's come out and said about the fact that they don't really have the best relationship. But Doja went on to say, well, let's start with what her dad said. What were the comments that were made on the video that we were watching?
He said the white Jewish woman, she's brainwashing my daughter. He said he brainwashing the child. it was weird because what he said was he brainwashing the child. I left her, and he like, I never left her. And I'm like, so did you leave her or did you not? But what's crazy about all of this is because since you just brought that up, when I was just looking up her dad, because he is an actor, and I didn't know that the movie Serafina was based on his life, was an adaptation.
Oh, I didn't know it was based on his life.
Not his life, but I guess he was in the movie. He had something to do with it or whatever. But long story short, she also got a brother. And so it's like, why do y'all wait till y'all kids get famous to cut up? And then, are you not talking about your son? Like, do you have a relationship with your son?
So because they have the same dad?
They have 2 kids together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has a son named Rahman, and Doja Cat by the same woman. So you have 2 children with this woman.
Yeah. It's always so sad. Like,
but your daughter was just in South Africa and asked you to come to her show, and you was like, oh, I'm busy, I'm working.
Yeah, that's what she said. So Doja Cat got online and recalled their recent conversation where she asked him to come to her show, and he told her that he was too busy to do so. And I just find that to be insane. Like, now granted, we don't know all of the story, right? The full story of what has happened, but it doesn't look good from this angle. And that would really set me off as someone who is living on this planet without a father. You really fixed your mouth to say that you can't come to her show, or you're just so busy that you can't make it. And I'm assuming that he hasn't seen her in a long time. I mean, we don't see any pictures or anything of them together. She's not Doja Cat, it seems like she's one of those artists that has been pretty transparent with us about many things. Yeah. This being one of them. Like, she literally went on a rant the other day. Not a rant, but just talking about her body and how her body is she has some type of...
She got body dysmorphia?
I feel like she does, but she also was talking about how she got lipo and how she has I think it's lymphedema.
Oh yeah, in her legs.
Yeah, and so just sharing that's just one way that she's been transparent with us, right? But this whole daddy situation has been a thing. But like you said, why do people, it seems like you wait till your kids get famous to make this a big thing, and like, who is it really about? Because is there a brainwashing that's occurred?
We just talked about what's his name last week, Matthew Knowles, and his stupid self. Like, why do these daddies do that? Because Drake daddy did the same thing. Yeah. Let me say something. I love my daddy, but as soon as he get on TV talking crap, listen. He
turn his microphone off.
He listened to this podcast. He's a fan of this podcast. He done asked to come on this podcast. As soon as
my God, can we get him on the podcast?
Girl, he want to be on here so bad. Please.
We should.
Listen, he want to be over here so bad. But let me tell you something. As soon as he started talking crazy, y'all heard it here first. I don't care what nobody say. His ass is gonna come up missing. He gonna be kidnapped, and he gonna be in somebody's basement. Because why'd you get on these people's internet running your mouth? So you don't even know how to work the internet. And you on it talking. Get off of the internet. Like, go please be a father to your kids. Like, if you had all this time to get on this microphone and post this stuff online, why didn't you go to this girl show?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, just go to her show. What's the big idea?
Why are you worried about how much Tina contributed to the success of Destiny's Child? Destiny's Child been broke up. Them girls been had them their own careers. All of this other stuff. Yeah, I bet you won't tell us that Solange knew how to swing on Jay-Z because she probably saw Tina put her hands on your monkey ass. You didn't want to talk about that part though, did you? You didn't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the real stuff. Why are y'all ruining y'all kids, trying to interfere and put y'all kids' business out in the streets? Why is y'all running around trying to badmouth y'all kids when y'all are the ones that are the horrible parents? It's never the people with the good parents who parents got stuff to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never them. It's always the parents that want to come out and be like, I've been famous for this long. My child don't do nothing for me. Like, think about the whole Tokyo Toni in Black China. Look how she did her. Like, come on now. It's never the good parents.
That's true. That is very true. I feel like because the good parents...
Gorilla parents didn't even come out and say she don't give them no money. It was the sister. It's always people that don't got nothing to do with nothing. They ain't helped you write a rhyme. They ain't took you to basketball practice. They ain't threw a football your direction. They ain't buy a Snicker from your football team, your dance team fundraiser. Okay, y'all was doing bucket drops on the corner of 7 Mile and Finkel. They ain't come over and drop they little car change in y'all bucket, but they got the right to say all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you don't give no free tickets to your show. Because you don't give them $3,400. Like, come on now.
There's a sense of entitlement there for real, for sure. But then I also wonder if there is an internal battle happening. Like, if we look at Doja Cat's situation with her dad, maybe there's some type of internal conflict happening where he knows that he's going to have to face the fact that you weren't there, and like, look at this, your child is a mega superstar now. We don't know what type of emotions that will yield, or maybe he's just afraid of facing them and what they're gonna say, what's gonna come out. Maybe facing her mother, if her mother was there, what's gonna come of the situation. I don't know. I'm thinking about it from all angles, because I can't imagine being in that position if I'm a parent and my kid is performing. Like, I'm coming. What you talk about? You just so busy. You can't be that busy. I don't know. It's a really sticky situation. But speaking of a sticky situation, maybe not so much of a sticky situation, but I also realized this week, and this is also part of Sound Check, that I actually really like Heavy D. Rest in peace to Heavy D.
I love him. The overweight lovers in the house. Rest
in paradise to Heavy D. I did not realize.
What are we gonna do? Oh, I'm sorry. I listen. My mama used to bang Heavy D. So I used to love
his music.
Heavy D and the boys, baby.
I really like his music. And did you know that he dated Nia Long?
Yes, girl. Everybody used to love Heavy D. Like, that's why it was so funny, or people don't realize that, because they got so caught up on Regine denying him on Living Single. Remember? When he's supposed to be dating Regine on Living Single, she met him and she liked him, and she was scared to introduce the girls to him because he was a big dude and he didn't have money like everybody else. He was on there for like 4 episodes because they became like really close friends and everything. But Heavy D was a sex symbol in the 90s. Like, if you ask our mamas and women of that era, that's how you think he became an overweight lover. They loved him because he was a big dude.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't realize this.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because I was young or, just not paying attention, or like, I don't know. But now I don't even know how I stumbled upon like his discography. His name just popped up for me one day as I was driving. Wanted to hear some feel good music, and I just fell down a rabbit hole of listening to his music, and was like,
because he had the New Jack Swing era on lock.
This is a vibe, like definitely a vibe. And he has an album called Waterbed Have. Now, listen, the album title made me think of a couple things. One, my uncle had a waterbed growing up, and it was just such an interesting thing. He was the only person in the house with a waterbed. But I had so many questions of like, how does this work? How did they get the water in here? How did they move the bed in here?
You usually attach a hose to it. So my grandparents had a waterbed when I was growing up. And yeah, my granddad used to attach a hose to the bed, and he used to run it from the bathroom to fill it up. And, he used to have like a little locking mechanism where the water wouldn't come out. But my grandmother was also a seamstress. And one day I was playing with something. I don't know if I was trying to sew something in the bed. I don't know if it was a straight pin or a safety pin, but I stuck a hole in the water pin.
So all of the water came out? Why would you do that?
The shit was skeeting all over the room like a fire hydrant. My granddaddy was so fucking mad. But I was his everything. So he was not, I never got a whooping for it. I remember, I was a destructive kid. I snatched my grandmama's mole off her face and sent her to the hospital. I was playing with it. Like,
that's what's wrong with you now.
She used to let us pick at stuff. Like, she used to let me pick at her face, and she had like a little hanging, like a mole, and I snatched it off and it started bleeding. She was calm. I was freaking out. My grandmother was calm. I was like losing. I was like, oh my God, I thought I was going to get in trouble. And it's so funny because how life works and how things happen is Royce's dad has a mole on his nose. And I used to play with him when we first started dating. And I used to be aggravated, and I used to always pick at it, and I say, boop. And I used to always touch it. And Roy started doing that to him when he got older. Because I used to be like, look at your dad. And he used to touch it. But Michael's didn't like hang. Like you could snatch it off. Like my grandmother had one of those. Like, you know how older people have like a loose like mole where it kind of hang. And hers kind of hung. Yeah. And I snatched it off. But yeah, girl, I stuck a pin in that waterbed. I'll never forget it. And my granddaddy was, I don't know if he was home from work already or my grandmama had to call him and be like, you need to come home, fix the bed. Tash did such and such. And he was so mad. But we had to like cover the bed. Like my granddaddy was, he was like a ghetto MacGyver. Like he could fix anything. But he was going to first do it with some electrical tape or some duct tape. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was his first thing was to like we had to like stop the hole. Like somebody had to put their finger over it. He had to put some tape on it and do all this other stuff. But I think people end up having to come to the house. If I remember correctly, people had to come to the house to actually service it. Because we used to have like, people used to come to the house to actually service the bed. But it was the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like, now that I'm grown and I'm like, it was fun as a kid. But, oh, my grandparents got a waterbed. But to get in the bed and every movement you make, somebody can feel it under you and you adjust my sleep by the way you moving, I absolutely hate that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just sent me down this thought path of waterbeds, and that any little move that you make on that waterbed, like, you're floating, like, your whole body. And now I'm grossed out because I used to sleep in between my grandparents on that waterbed, and I just can't imagine things that happened maybe when I wasn't there. I'm just saying, like, what was the purpose of the waterbed? I want to ask somebody that from that generation.
Then you got me looking at this album, and it's like all the names of this song. It's like this album is called Waterbed Head, and you got songs called like Big Daddy. You can get it.
That's my jam. Big Daddy is my jam.
Keep it coming, like
Big Daddy.
that is
Big Daddy.
I am freaked out. Okay,
you can be your Big Daddy.
I remember that song. That's the crazy. I do.
Heavy homie. No,
in fact, do you know that he's from Mandeville, Jamaica? I didn't know he was Jamaican until just now. That's funny. I never knew Jamaican? That. But now that I say that, I can see it.
Wow.
I can see it. The way he has conversations in certain interviews and stuff. But yes, he's Jamaican.
That's crazy.
He was actually born in Jamaica. That's the crazy part.
I did not know that.
That is weird. Like, not weird, but
that's wild. Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, I hate that he passed such an untimely time for him to pass away. And he died from a pulmonary embolism.
Oh, well, his middle name is Arrington, so yeah, he definitely Jamaican.
Yes.
Dwight Arrington Myers.
Definitely Jamaican. But yeah, I was thinking too, like with the waterbed, like how do people have sex on a waterbed?
I don't even want to think about it.
Because it's not like the fact that your grandparents had a waterbed.
That's why I don't want to think about it. They was definitely
getting down in there.
First of all, saying if you see pictures of my grandparents, like while they were hanging out, I already knew. First of all, my grandparents essentially had 7 kids. My grandmother only gave birth. She only had 4 pregnancies that she saw through to viability, but she was pregnant 7 different times. And my grandmother, my daddy and my auntie are essentially the same age right now. They are the same age for 3 weeks out of the year. Literally Irish twins.
That's
so my grandmama didn't wait no 6 weeks. Okay, it's clear, it's evident.
Very, very wild.
All right, it's pictures of my grandparents, like they were at a club. Like, I'm about to find this picture. It's a picture of my grandparents at like a club, or I'm assuming it's a club but it's like like, you know, one of them old school little parties. And my granddaddy is like palming my grandmother's whole tit in the picture. And got his leg up around her. Like,
show us the pictures.
They are, yes. I am going to post this because I gotta find it because it's in my phone. Because whenever people see them pictures of my grandparents, they be like, "That's your granddaddy?" I be like, "Yeah," and my grandmama, like, clowning.
Show us pictures. But yeah, I was thinking about that, like the waterbed. How does, like, it just doesn't seem like the best functional decision to get for a bed, especially if you plan on having extracurricular activities. Like, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
but then a part of me like kind of wants to try
it.
A
firm, like a
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I need something firm. Yeah. But I'm also like, dang, well, just try it. You know what that
makes me think of? And I don't even want to say this out loud because I don't want people to take my idea because I feel like I should patent it. But you know what? I feel like it should be it should be like a water platform. Like how we have a box spring, but then put the mattress on top of it. Mm-hmm. Because when you stroking, the mattress will move, but you'll still be firm on a mattress. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Like the physics of it all. Let the mattress move. Because it's like people have an affinity for doing it on cruise ships. Like, you know, you feeling that water, it's moving. Yeah. But you on a firm mattress.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
This is my grandparents. Here, I'm showing Diamond the picture, y'all. But when this episode air, I'm gonna post it.
You should. Oh my God. What? Look at your grandma. She's so cute. Why? I could tell she was that girl.
Why is y'all doing all of that? Like, come on now. Like, all of that's not necessary.
Y'all should see this picture. Yeah, we definitely gonna post this picture on a pod.
Oh, and this is them trying to act like, I don't know. Like, my granddaddy was one of them old school Detroit men. Like, he worked at a factory and he had money and he wore rings on every single finger. Like, I'm gonna find that picture too. When my aunt got married, listen, when I'm talking about we sold Detroit, my aunt got married at the Belle Isle Rose Garden, okay? And my granddaddy turned that corner and it was a ring on every finger. He had on the top hat and he had a cane. My granddaddy has never, ever walked with a cane in his life. He did not need assistance walking. This was all a part of the ensemble that he decided to wear to his oldest daughter's wedding to give her away. And one of the rings that he wears the most is a diamond encrusted ring. It's a big ass ring with an R on it. With diamonds through the R. I wonder if I know my auntie got the picture somewhere. Because every time my auntie's anniversary comes up, we send the picture around and we joke and we be like, Auntie, look at what happened at your wedding. But he literally had all those rings on. And that's how he used to get down. Like, he used to wear 1,000 rings at one time. Because, you know, that's what old school men from Detroit did. They worked at the factory and they spent all their money on jewelry and cars and Cadillacs and Buicks. And
that's a fact.
My granddaddy is no exception to that rule. He did all of those things.
And that's a fact. If you look at any of our, at least one of your ancestors or your elders has photographs that mirror this very description that Tash is saying. I've seen several of mine. Yeah.
Especially from Detroit. If they lived in Detroit in the Midwest and they were a part of that, if they were those boomers that were a part of that, like, you know, great integration into the workforce of these factories, and they worked for the big three. My granddad didn't work for the big three, but he worked for a steel mill. He worked at a steel factory. He worked downriver at National. Well, it was called Great Lakes Steel when I was growing up, but I think it has since changed to like National Steel or U.S. Steel or something of that nature. Like, they got bought out by a bigger entity, but he worked on a steel mill for years. He was a foreman on a steel mill, so he had money, but my granddad did not believe in spending it. He was, I found a picture. Look at this shit. And that's my daddy in the back. Please look at my granddaddy's, look at his glasses, look at his fingers, and look at the hat. Okay? He did not have the cane in that picture. Look at every finger he had. That was my daddy getting my auntie's wedding dress together behind her. But that is my daddy and my auntie. They 10 months apart. And that's my granddaddy with all them damn rings on. Gold aviator glasses. Top hats.
Yeah, and getting it in. I wonder who is his jeweler.
Listen, ain't no telling.
We need to find out expeditiously.
Ain't no telling.
Your jeweler's still around.
My granddaddy, and it was so bad that when my granddaddy turned the corner at that wedding, my grandmother was, when I'm talking about pissed, she lost her mind because she was so upset. She was like, I can't believe he would come up to my daughter's wedding looking like this. Like, upset.
It's funny.
Upset. This is, I think, when she saw it, because look at me snitching. That's my grandmama. Look at her face, and that's me right behind her in that flower girl dress. She was pissed, okay?
This your grandma that used to race cars?
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God.
That's the one that was just on that picture. That was them two.
Yeah.
This was them, yep, when they got older. Sure, yep.
Well.
And those are the ones with the waterbed. That's Daddy Warbucks. Now you see why he gets that name of Daddy Warbucks, because this is how he shows up. Like, sir, why did you have to have on every ring?
It's all lining up. It's all making sense.
Yep.
For sure. Including the waterbed.
Yep. Absolutely. He had a waterbed.
Well, as always, follow us on everything at The Soulful Stir, YouTube, Instagram. Comment. What was I about to say? Converse. Converse too, but comment, like, subscribe, send to your homies, your cousins, your aunts, uncles, whoever, anybody that would be interested in our pod. We appreciate you listening. Tash, you got anything for the people?
Nah, y'all just keep tuning in.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, this has been another episode of The Soulful Stir.